Hi, this is Dr. Scott, and today we're going to talk about things that kind of don't make sense to a lot of people. We're going to talk about the Trump capitulation tour, but it's going to be part two. Now, if you've listened to Derek Johnson talk about this, there was a capitulation tour back in 2017 where he went throughout the world, Trump did, and set the stage for the world to kind of get into what we needed to have happen. That's when a lot of stupid went on. And we weren't really awake to that. Most of us were like going, what? What's happening? Why are you doing this? Right? And we weren't understanding why it was happening. And then we come to the 2020 election, and Idiot Joe comes on the scene and destroys so much of our world. But basically, what he was doing is showing you the stupid that had been going on for generations, but just showing a spotlight upon it. And now what we're doing is now turning the spotlight on the stupid, letting the rats scurry. Let me just give you an example. I know that's not exactly related to this, but it is so perfect. and I want you to see it. And the Democrats specifically don't know how to respond to Trump.
21%. That's the Democrat Party's approval rating right now. 21%. They're defending waste, fraud, and abuse, Chinese slave labor, DEI, transgender, and illegal alien gangbangers. Trump designated MS-13 as a terrorist organization. So technically, Garcia's a terrorist. They'd rather give a terrorist the American dream than you.
I mean, like, you know, you get this and go, wait, what? I mean, the idiot from CNN was in the White House asking about they would deport a terrorist to El Salvador, to the prisons in El Salvador, and could they bring him back? Wait, an MS-13 terrorist rapist she wanted to bring back into America. What? I mean, it literally is off the chart, doesn't make sense. I want to kind of walk through the process here, and then we're going to show you a video of how crazy it's getting in China with that too. So we're going to talk about the capitulation tour and how it's going for Trump with this. Okay. So by the way, I'm drscottyoung.com. You can always go to my site and find out, excuse me, all of the cool stuff that you can download. You can actually download the quantum financial system information so that you can know more about it and realize I'm not selling the QFS, and you do not buy anything related to that. Okay. Now let's get into the tariffs and how he's killing off the IRS with it. The governmental problem is pretty dramatic here. The income tax on the left-hand side of this is basically the income tax. I'm going to pull me off the screen here, and I want you to see, sorry, I got to pull this over here. And I want you to see what is up here. So on the left side of the screen here, where my mouse is roaming here, is the basically these are the monies that are coming in. Okay, so this is the IRS issue, and I'm going to do a video here that you're going to see probably on Wednesday the 22nd. I'm just calculating the days here. And today you're going to see this particular video on the 24th. And so, excuse me. And the individual income tax, this was done, I believe, in 24 or probably 23. So when they were calculating, brought in $2 trillion of individual income tax. Social Security and retirement stuff brings in 1.4 trillion trillion. Corporation taxation, which is really through IRS taxation, is 4 billion, 400 billion. Excise tax, 80 billion, on and on, right? So you see, this is how much that they bring in. So $4 trillion of receipts. Now, Social Security is outlaying way more than it's bringing in, almost as much as it's outlaying with it too. Actually, it's higher than that, and I'm going to show you that more in a second. The interest is actually saying on the front end that it's giving out way more than it's doing. That's a lie. The health insurance, and this is HHS information, this is so much a lie of what it's spending. And we've just found out even more information that's coming out here. They're just spending god-awful amounts of money. In the past, national defense was the highest amount of information or monies that were ever spent. Social Security, why is Social Security spending so much money? That it's never been this case. The reality that has been happening here, is that the lies that they don't tell you about is that really we are spending $763 billion of interest, they tell you, but it's really $1.6 trillion of interest. That's just the interest payment. That's more than we're taking in Social Security. $907 billion additional in real budget with that too. So the deficit is $2.4 trillion, which is 41% of the full on budget. This is how unbelievable we are over budget. This is just like craziness in levels that you cannot imagine with it too. We're learning more and more every day. Okay. Now the Trump tariffs that we're finding out, Trump starts throwing in these tariffs, and like everyone in governmental agencies, even on the right side, are freaking out, right? And 100 nations start jumping to the table and saying, what if we take away the tariffs? I actually had several patriots who were saying to me, sorry, I'm kind of wiping something off my glasses here, was saying to me, that's wrong. He wasn't sending off that much in tariffs, or Israel wasn't coming up with 34%. Well, listen, that's what he said. Listen, if you want to say that Trump is lying about the numbers, go ahead. But that's what Trump was pulling out. I'm going to say that he's not lying about those numbers. We have had a massive imbalance in our trade issues. And who pays for that? See, this $1.2 trillion isn't even on the math that you're talking about here. That I just showed you. That isn't even sitting on the math that we look at every day. That comes out in our in the how would you say this? It actually comes through the dollar every single day. So it increases our inflation based upon the pound, or based upon the UN. So it's how we lose money to other nations. And I've been talking about Nasara and Jassara. Let me pull this off the screen for just a second. I've been talking about Nasara and Jassara in balancing the issues, the quantum financial systems, balancing that system, right? That we would all be on a one-to-one basis. And I had no idea, guys, do you understand? I had zero idea that tariffs were going to be a part of the quantum financial system, balancing what was out of balance. I'm like, dude, I would never have realized he was going to use something like tariffs to bring in balance what was out of balance. because what tariffs do is bring in balance. And so these people are coming to the table and go, what if we bought our tariffs to a zero number when we were used to charge you guys 25% or 40% or whatever the number that they might have said? What if we did 0%? Oh, okay, sure, we'll do 0%. Or what if we did 10% and you did 10%? Sure, we can do that. It's so fun. It's so fun. Oops, sorry. Let me show you the international situations that have been happening. So ever since Biden takes into office, or the morons around him, right? 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, we're just so far out of balance. The exports versus imports. We were importing way more. This is what the global community loves to do. That's why when people call me a Christian nationalist, I'm like, you know what? I want to be a nationalist. And you want every single other nation to be nationalist as well. That's what's called sovereignty. Sovereignty is about for our nation first. I want Israel to be for Israel. I want Japan to be for Japan first. I want Canada to be for Canada first. Don't you? Why should Canada be worried about America before they're worried about themselves? You see, that's what the problem with Trudeau has been. Trudeau has been worried about the world and what he could get out of the world, instead of worried about what could happen for Canada first. This thing is coming, and it's coming good for everyone else, but it's not coming good for the globalists. The trade deficit has gone up in dramatic levels, and it came up and spiking against everyone. That's why these tariff things are making a balanced system so that the QFS can be in line. Okay, so the effects of this situation are bringing the corporations back into line. Now, one thing that I thought was fascinating is that the Apple had a ton of money in cash for a very long time frame. So it was funny. I noticed this same thing. So how come they had all this cash? It's because now Trump goes, okay, now you're going to take your cash and you're going to spend it on America. So now they're going to spend $500 billion and they're going to put 20,000 people in to work. You see, that they were telling you on the other end of this, oh, well, the iPhone is now going to cost you $30,000. No, it won't. It's just going to be made in America. Oh, but it's going to cost you so much more. Wait a second. You know how much it was made in China? It was made with slave labor. Shouldn't the iPhone that is made more for Americans, shouldn't it be made for in America? Hey man, I don't mind if it's exported to other countries and they want to have it, fine. But they might charge an export fee or an import fee. Sure, I don't have a problem with that. But there should be a balance in that trade kind of thing. If they want to have an export fee of a 10%, that would be fine. There should be some level of that situation. That is okay. Semiconductors, the TSMC is looking to add $100 billion. A shipping company is adding $20 billion and 10K in jobs. This property group is adding data centers with $20 billion. Honda is boosting manufacturing in America. I heard also that Nissan was looking to merge with Honda, and that thing fell through. But they're going, and by the way, all the car manufacturers are coming back. GM is coming back to America, boosting into America. Hyundai is coming back to America, spending $21 billion in new technologies. And they're going to be manufacturing more, I think, in Alabama, if I heard right. But Honda's going to be boosting into it. I'm sure Lexus is going to be coming back. I mean, coming back over here. And because most of the cars are made over here with that too. Lego is coming back and relocating to America. NVIDIA, which has most of its product in Silicon Valley, they're going to be investing as many as several $100 billion of electronics here. Guys, what do you think that's going to do for jobs, and great jobs here? That's excellent for us. And here's the funniest thing. The IRS said, this is what's happening. The balance situation that's occurring here. And I'm going to do a video on this. You guys are going to see this in a little bit. But on one side of this issue, the IRS has said that 10% of Americans were not going to pay their taxes in April. I say you guys are like smoking rope, because it's probably more like 20% of Americans are not paying their taxes. Communism has and fascism will tell you, historians will tell you, that communism and fascism will come down and will be destroyed if 5% of its population comes out against it. If 10% is not going to pay their taxation, it's and I guarantee it's double that number. Here's what just came out the other day, and even Twitter doesn't like the statement. 20,000 IRS agents are taking the buyout offer right in the same time frame of April 15th. Why? Let me ask you this question. I want you to think about this question right here. Why are they taking the buyout offer? Because the IRS is going to be no more. Here's how desperate this system is happening. And you guys go, yeah, that's you making stuff up, Scott. Let me tell you how much this tariff war is affecting China.
Trade is no longer viable. Can we switch to domestic trade? I visited a clothing store today. Take a look. Every item here is priced at 19 yuan, about $2 US. The material feels really nice. And this is still a physical store that has to pay rent. In reality, not only is China's foreign trade industry heavily impacted, but even upstream and downstream businesses are facing difficulties. Export factories in Zhejiang and Guangdong, two major foreign trade provinces, are facing production halts, with warehouses full of goods originally meant for export. Many business owners have spoken out online, saying that a large number of orders have been canceled and finished goods have no buyers, leading to piles of inventory in warehouses and even at ports. Customers lose only a small deposit, but businesses bear all the losses. Without orders, factories can only stop production. Today, that if the Chinese government mishandles the situation, it could collapse. Outside observers believe that the fundamental strategic opposition between China and the US cannot be concealed or reconciled. China's space for retaliation is limited, and the next 90 days of negotiations will be crucial in determining whether the two countries will fully decouple or find a limited compromise. China expert Yang Wei believes that if both sides remain firm on tariffs, China's direct exports to the US may quickly decrease, possibly even to zero.
And here's the thing. I think that what we're about ready to see is this conflict coming to a head. And when it comes to a head, the whole thing changes. I am super excited about what's about ready to occur. Guys, be encouraged. The tariff war is a part of flipping the whole the structure into the quantum financial system, the deletion of the IRS, and then the global currency. Thanks so much.